Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something many of you feel on your journey. Those really intense highs, sure, but also those challenging lows.
Yeah.
That feeling of being stuck,
Yeah.
or just wondering when things are ever going to move forward.
Mm-hmm. That waiting game.
Exactly. So we're diving into, well, a really fascinating and honestly powerful concept today, collapsing timelines.
Right. And I know it might sound a bit like science fiction, maybe.
Totally, like something out of a movie. But in the spiritual world, this is actually a pretty real and, I think, empowering idea.
It really is. So imagine your life isn't just one single track. Think of it like, well, infinite potential paths or timelines.
Okay.
And each one is a different possible future shaped by, your thoughts, your beliefs, your fears, even your energetic vibration.
So if you're caught up in doubt or fear,
Mm-hmm.
that puts you on a certain kind of path.
Yeah. Often a slower one.
Yeah.
A timeline where things feel stuck or progress is really slow. Collapsing a timeline isn't about like manipulating the outside world.
Right.
It's this deep internal shift. It could be a decision you make, a release of something old, or maybe a real commitment to your own self-worth.
And that shift lets you jump
Mm-hmm.
to a faster, more aligned path
Mm-hmm.
by clearing out those internal blocks.
Exactly. You remove the energetic reason for being on the slow path. And here's where it gets really interesting, especially for the twin flame journey. Why is this idea so crucial there?
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. Why is it so important for twin flames specifically?
Well, the twin flame connection itself, it's almost designed for accelerated spiritual growth. It inherently pushes you, sometimes pretty intensely, to confront every single wound, every shadow, every fear you've got buried inside.
No escaping it, really.
Pretty much. And until you address that stuff, you're kind of energetically tethered to a timeline that keeps bringing those lessons back around.
So collapsing a timeline is like actively choosing to graduate from that lesson.
You got it. It's saying, okay, learned that, moving on.
That makes a lot of sense. It really forces the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so if this journey accelerates things, where do we apply this timeline collapse idea, I'm thinking? The runner-chaser dynamic.
Ah, the class.
Super common stuck timeline, right? Where the chaser's energy, that fear of loss, maybe desperation, just keeps the runner needing space.
Yeah.
How does collapsing a timeline break that cycle? Like beyond just stop chasing.
It goes deeper than just the action. To really collapse that timeline, the chaser has to make this unwavering internal declaration, something like, my value isn't tied to this chase.
Okay.
It's that radical surrender and detachment. It's believing you don't need to chase because your own alignment, your wholeness, will attract what's right. That shifts your energy signature entirely.
So the old dynamic just dissolves because you're not feeding it anymore.
Precisely, it loses its fuel.
Wow, okay. That reframes it. And then beyond the push-pull, these connections often drag up really deep stuff, right?
Right.
Karmic wounds, maybe past life trauma, leading to these repeating painful patterns.
Absolutely. Those karmic wounds are essentially, leftover energies or lessons from past experiences. They show up as recurring issues, fears.
So how does doing inner work like therapy, meditation, shadow work, confronting those unconscious bits, how does that specifically collapse the timeline of reliving that trauma?
Well, when you consciously engage with that inner work, you're not just, say, healing one specific wound in isolation. You are actively collapsing the entire timeline where you were destined to keep re-experiencing that pattern.
Oh.
It's like you're sending out this energetic signal, lesson learned, integrated, ready for a new chapter. You're choosing a different narrative.
And then there's inner union, which feels like the ultimate goal, really, no matter what's happening externally, becoming whole within yourself.
Yes, integrating those masculine and feminine energies we all have, the doing and the deing, plus your light, your shadow, your soul self, your human self, all of it.
How does getting to that place create, as you put it, a massive timeline collapse?
Because when you operate from that place of wholeness, self-love, abundance, you stop projecting neediness onto others. You don't need someone else to complete you.
Right.
That state of inner union is the timeline collapse. You shift from a reality based on lack or longing to one built on self-sufficiency and, honestly, magnetic attraction.
You basically dissolve the timeline where your happiness depended on someone else showing up a certain way.
Exactly. You create the conditions for harmony, whether that's with your twin or maybe an even better aligned partner.
This gives you so much agency back. So the practical side, how do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you actually collapse a timeline?
I think the most profound way is through radical acceptance and detachment from the outcome. It sounds simple, but it's deep.
Okay. How does that work?
First, you have to truly acknowledge where you are right now, your current situation, even the painful parts. Just see it clearly. Then, and this is key, release the need to control the other person or the timing of how things unfold. Let go of the how and when.
And redirect that energy.
Yes. All that energy you are pouring into worrying or chasing or analyzing, redirect it into building your own joy, your purpose, your self-worth, right here, right now.
We heard that great example from a listener, didn't we?
Yeah. She just decided, I'm done waiting. Deleted old social media posts related to him, like a real internal shift. And almost immediately he reached out.
Because her internal decision, based on her own worth, just collapsed that waiting timeline.
Exactly. It created a new possibility instantly.
It feels almost paradoxical, letting go to receive, but the result is freedom, isn't it?
Total freedom. From the anxiety, the fear, needing that external validation, it brings you back home to yourself.
And shifts you from being passive, just waiting, to actively co-creating your reality.
Right. And the outcome of this collapse, it's often like a quantum leap. Things just start moving.
Faster manifestation.
Definitely. Opportunities pop up, synchronicities increase like crazy. You feel this deep inner peace, too, that isn't dependent on what's happening outside.
And that magnetic attraction you mentioned.
Yeah, when you're in that high vibe state of self-love, you just naturally draw in what truly serves you. Maybe your twin shows up, but differently, more maturely. Or maybe you attract someone entirely new who's an even better match.
So the old collapsed timeline leaves space for something new.
Fertile ground. For new dreams, new goals. A life you design for yourself, by yourself.
So just to reiterate for everyone listening, collapsing timelines isn't really about forcing an outcome or manipulating anything.
Not at all. It's about aligning your own energy so completely with your highest self, your truth, that the desired outcome, or honestly, often something even better, just becomes the natural next step. It has to happen.
Stepping fully into your power as the creator of your own experience.
Absolutely. Which I think leads to a really important question for you to reflect on. What timeline are you actually operating on right now? What core belief, what fear, what attachment is keeping you anchored there? And maybe more importantly, what bold, decisive internal shift can you make, maybe even today, to collapse that old story and leap into the reality you know you truly deserve?
Something powerful to consider. Thank you for joining this deep dive.